Are you even a real Elvis fan? Did you know the King recorded over 700 songs in his lifetime? While Suspicious Minds and Hound Dog get all the glory, Elvis Presley's catalog runs deeper than most people realize. The King of Rock and Roll left behind a treasure trove of overlooked gems that showcase his versatility and emotional depth as an artist. These forgotten tracks reveal sides of Elvis that casual listeners might never discover, from soul-stirring gospel to haunting ballads that will make you question why they never reached the same fame as his biggest hits. Number 10. Long Black Limousine, 1969. Ever wonder what Elvis would sound like singing about death? This haunting track from his legendary 1969 American Sound Studio sessions in Memphis tells the tragic story of someone who left their small town with big dreams, only to return home in a hearse. The contrast between their previous dreams of riding in luxury and the reality of their final journey creates a powerful narrative that Elvis delivers with gut-wrenching emotion. The song wasn't written by Elvis. It had been recorded previously by country artists, but the King's version transforms it into something truly special. His voice quivers with emotion as the horns and backing vocals swell around him. The production perfectly balances restraint and drama, allowing Elvis to showcase his ability to inhabit a character and tell a story through song. This track appeared on his acclaimed From Elvis in Memphis album, which many critics consider among his finest work, yet it rarely makes it onto greatest hits compilations. What's particularly striking about Long Black Limousine is how it foreshadowed Elvis's own fate in some ways. The song's meditation on the price of fame and the contrast between dreams and reality feels eerily prophetic given Elvis's later struggles. When he sings about someone returning home in a funeral procession after chasing fame, it's impossible not to think about his own journey from Tupelo, Mississippi to worldwide stardom and its eventual toll on him. Number 9. If I Can Dream, 1968. Did you forget the song that saved Elvis's career? In 1968, Elvis Presley was at a crossroads in his career. After years of making formulaic movies with forgettable soundtracks, his relevance was fading. Then came the '68 comeback special, and with it, this powerful anthem of hope and unity. Written specifically for Elvis to close the television special, If I Can Dream, was a response to the assassinations of Martin Luther King Jr. and Robert Kennedy earlier that year. The song's plea for understanding and peace spoke directly to the turbulent climate of 1968 America. Elvis delivered one of his most passionate performances, ever pushing his voice to its limits as he builds to the climactic final chorus. What makes this song particularly special is how personal it was for Elvis. He rarely recorded songs with such explicit social messaging, preferring to let his music speak through emotion rather than direct statements. But with If I Can Dream, Elvis made an exception, reportedly telling the knocker, "I'll never sing another song I don't believe in." The conviction in his voice is undeniable as he sings about a better world with a little less conversation, a little more action. Despite the power of this recording and its significance in Elvis's career renaissance, it often gets overshadowed by his earlier rock classics or his later hits like Suspicious Minds. Yet this performance reveals an Elvis deeply connected to the changing world around him, using his voice not just to entertain, but to express genuine hope for a better tomorrow. Number 8. It Hurts Me, 1964. Can a B-side change how you see Elvis? This often overlooked gem from 1964 showcases Elvis's remarkable ability to convey heartache and longing. Released as the flip side to Kissin' Cousins, this ballad tells the story of a man watching the woman he loved being mistreated by another man, creating a triangle of unrequited love and silent suffering. The song stands out during a period when Elvis was primarily focused on movie soundtracks. Co-written by Joy Byers and Charlie Daniels, yes, that Charlie Daniels, of The Devil Went Down to Georgia fame, It Hurts Me gives Elvis material worthy of his talent during an era when good songs were sometimes hard to come by for him. His delivery transforms what could have been a standard ballad into something transcendent, with his voice conveying both strength and vulnerability. What makes this track particularly special is how it bridges Elvis's early rock sound with his more mature ballad style. The arrangement begins with restraint, but builds to showcase Elvis's impressive vocal range and power. By the final chorus, he's fully unleashed that famous voice, demonstrating why, even during his movie years, he remained unmatched as a vocal interpreter. Colonel Tom Parker, Elvis's manager, reportedly didn't think much of the song and buried it as a B-side. This lack of promotion meant many fans missed out on one of Elvis's most emotionally authentic performances from the mid-1960s. Years later, Elvis himself recognized the song's quality, reviving it for his 1968 comeback special in an arrangement that highlighted its dramatic potential. Number 7 tomorrow is A Long Time, 1966. Have you heard Elvis cover Bob Dylan? Few have. This Bob Dylan cover, recorded in 1966 for the Spin-Out movie soundtrack, demonstrates Elvis's exceptional ability to interpret contemporary folk material. The song appears on the film's soundtrack album, but stands completely apart from the typical movie fare Elvis was recording at the time. Elvis strips Dylan's already sparse composition down even further, creating an intimate recording that changes his voice at its most vulnerable and authentic. Accompanied primarily by acoustic guitar and minimal percussion, Elvis delivers the lyrics with a sincerity that makes the song entirely his own. His interpretation reveals the influence folk music had on him, despite his image being so strongly tied to rock and roll and pop. Dylan himself later praised Elvis's version, calling it the one recording I treasure the most. This high praise from one of America's most acclaimed songwriters speaks to the quality of Elvis's performance and his ability to transcend genre boundaries when given material worthy of his talents. The song's lyrics about loneliness and longing for a loved one gain new depths through Elvis's soulful delivery. What makes this recording particularly special is how it offers a glimpse of what might have been if Elvis had been allowed more freedom in his song selection during the movie years. It suggests an alternate musical path Elvis might have explored more fully, one that connected him to the folk revival and singer-joker movements of the 1960s, rather than keeping him isolated in formulaic film soundtracks. Number 6, Reconsider Baby, 1960. Think Elvis couldn't sing the blues? Think again. This raw, powerful blues cover shames Elvis at his most uninhibited and authentic. Originally written and recorded by Lowell Fulson in 1954, Elvis tackled this blues standard during the famous Elvis is Back sessions, his first recordings after returning from military service in Germany. What makes this track extraordinary is how it captures Elvis in a virtually live setting with minimal production touches. You can hear Elvis calling out to his band members during the performance, creating the atmosphere of a late-night jam session rather than a carefully controlled studio recording. Saxophone player Boots Randolph delivers a blistering solo, while Elvis shouts encouragement, showing the genuine musical camaraderie that existed when Elvis worked with top Nashville musicians. Elvis's vocal on Reconsider Baby ranks among his most impressive performances. He digs deep into the blues idiom, demonstrating his capacity to interpret African American musical traditions with both respect and personal flair. His voice sounds lived in and worldly, belying his young age of just 25 when this was recorded. The performance makes a powerful case for Elvis as a blues singer of genuine merit, not just a rock and roller who occasionally dabbled in blues-adjacent material. Despite the exceptional quality of this recording, it remained relatively obscure in Elvis's catalog, never released as a single and rarely included on compilations until later career retrospectives. For fans who primarily know Elvis through his hits, Reconsider Baby offers a revelatory glimpse into his musical roots and abilities beyond the confines of commercial pop success. Number 5. Just Pretend, 1970. Did Elvis record his most beautiful ballad in Las Vegas? This stunning ballad from the That's the Way It Is album captures Elvis at the peak of his vocal powers during his early Las Vegas period. The song shames the remarkable maturity and control Elvis had developed as a vocalist by 1970, allowing him to deliver a performance of exceptional beauty and restraint. Just Pretend features a lush orchestral arrangement typical of Elvis's Vegas-era recordings. But unlike some of his more bombastic performances from this period, he approaches this song with remarkable subtlety. The lyrics describe a temporary romance, a love affair both parties know won't last. Yet there's a dignity and grace in how Elvis portrays this bittersweet situation. His phrasing throughout is impeccable, building gradually toward emotional high points without ever overplaying his hand. What makes this recording particularly special is how it represents Elvis's artistic maturity. This isn't the young firebrand of the 1950s, nor the sometimes disengaged movie star of the 1960s. This is Elvis as a fully formed adult interpreter of sophisticated pop material. The richness and control in his voice reveal years of development and a deep understanding of how to communicate emotional nuance through song. Despite its quality, Just Pretend has been overshadowed by more famous hits from this era like Suspicious Minds and In the Ghetto. Yet for those who appreciate Elvis's abilities as a ballad singer, this track stands as one of his finest moments, a perfect marriage of voice, arrangement, and emotional content that rewards repeated listening with new details and depths. Number 4. Stranger, In My Own Hometown, 1969. Ever heard? Elvis, Get Funky? This gritty funk-influenced track from the American Sound Studio sessions in Memphis captures Elvis returning to his roots, while simultaneously pushing his sound forward. Recorded in early 1969 during the same productive period that gave us In the Ghetto and Suspicious Minds, this Percy Mayfield cover shows Elvis embracing contemporary black music styles with enthusiasm. The track features a remarkable groove from the studio's house band, with tight horn arrangements, electric piano, and wah-wah guitar creating a sound that's miles away from Elvis's earlier work. What makes this recording so compelling is Elvis's vocal approach. He sounds loose, engaged, and completely immersed in the funk aesthetic. He ad-libs throughout the performance, showing a playfulness and spontaneity that wasn't always present during his more controlled studio sessions. Lyrically, the song resonated with Elvis's return to recording in Memphis after years away in Hollywood. The narrator's feelings of alienation upon returning to a changed hometown might have reflected Elvis's own experience coming back to a Memphis music scene that had evolved significantly during his movie years. There's an autobiographical quality to his performance that gives the song added emotional weight beneath its funky exterior. Despite its quality and significance in Elvis's catalog, Stranger in My Own Hometown wasn't released as a single and didn't appear on an album until From Memphis to Vegas, From Vegas to Memphis, later in 1969. It remains one of Elvis's most underappreciated recordings from this crucial career comeback period, a testament to his versatility and willingness to engage with contemporary sounds. Number 3. How Great Thou Art. 1966. Can a gospel song make you cry? Elvis Presley's powerful rendition of How Great Thou Art just might. While Elvis is celebrated primarily for his rock, pop, and ballad recordings, gospel music remained his personal passion throughout his life. This stunning performance, which won Elvis his first competitive Grammy Award, demonstrates why his gospel recordings deserve as much attention as his secular hits. Recorded for his second full gospel album in 1966, Elvis's version of this traditional hymn stays his remarkable vocal power and control. The arrangement builds gradually from a restrained opening to a spine-tingling climax, where Elvis unleashes the full force of his instrument. The backing vocals from the Jordanaires and Imperials provide the perfect complement to Elvis's lead, creating a sound that's both reverential and emotionally charged. What makes this recording particularly special is the genuine conviction Elvis brings to the material. Unlike some of his movie soundtrack work from the same period, there's no sense of going through the motions here. Elvis sings with complete emotional investment, drawing on his Southern religious upbringing and deep connection to spiritual music. Longtime friend and gospel singer J.D. Sumner once remarked that Elvis sang gospel like he was right there looking at the face of God. While casual fans might be more familiar with Elvis's rock and roll identity, How Great Thou Art reveals an equally important aspect of his musical personality and arguably features some of his most impressive vocal work on record. The performance's sincerity and emotional impact transcend religious boundaries, making it accessible even to listeners who don't share Elvis's Christian faith. Number 2. Separate Ways. 1972. Had you heard Elvis sing about his own divorce? This heartbreaking ballad, recorded in 1972 as Elvis's marriage to Priscilla was dissolving, stands as one of the most autobiographical moments in his catalog. Co-written by one of Elvis's closest friends, Red West, the song captures the pain of a relationship ending and the impact on a child caught in the middle, a situation mirroring Elvis's own as he and Priscilla separated while Ray. What makes this recording particularly powerful is the unmistakable personal connection Elvis brings to the material. His voice conveys genuine anguish as he sings about a couple who tried their best to make it day to day, but ultimately had to part ways. The performance lacks the theatrical quality of some of his other ballads. Instead, Elvis delivers the lyrics with a straightforward sincerity that feels like a direct window into his private emotions during this difficult period. The arrangement supports this emotional honesty with a restrained approach that keeps Elvis's voice at the center. Gentle strings and subdued backing vocals provide just enough support without overwhelming the intimate quality of the performance. Elvis's vocal restraint throughout most of the song makes the few moments where he allows more intensity to show through all the more effective. Despite its quality and personal significance, Separate Ways wasn't a major hit when released as a single in 1972, reaching only pound 20 on the Billboard charts. It tends to be overlooked in discussions of Elvis's 1970s output, which often focus on his more flamboyant live performances and dramatic ballads from this period. Yet this song reveals a vulnerability and authenticity that makes it essential listening for anyone seeking to understand the man behind the legendary persona. Number 1, If I'm a Fool, For Loving You, 1969. Did you know Elvis recorded one of his most passionate performances for a movie most fans have never seen? This overlooked masterpiece from the soundtrack of The Trouble with Girls captures Elvis at his soulful best during the productive year of 1969. While many of Elvis's movie songs were lightweight affairs, this ballad stands alongside his finest non-film recordings from the same era. The song features a stunning vocal performance where Elvis demonstrates his remarkable control and emotional expressiveness. He begins with restrained intensity, before building to powerful crescendos that showcase his range and technical ability. The Memphis-influenced arrangement provides the perfect backdrop, with tasteful horns, strings, and gospel-tinged backing vocals supporting Elvis without overwhelming him. What makes this recording particularly special is how it represents Elvis reclaiming his musical identity during a pivotal career moment. After years of increasingly formulaic movie soundtracks, Elvis was in the midst of a significant artistic rebirth in 1969, recording career-defining tracks at American Sound Studio in Memphis and reconnecting with his musical roots. This performance shows that even within the constraints of his movie career, Elvis could still deliver work of exceptional quality when given appropriate material. Despite being one of Elvis's most impressive vocal performances from this period, If I'm a Fool remains largely unknown to casual fans. It wasn't released as a single and appeared only on the soundtrack album for a film that wasn't among Elvis's more popular movies. This obscurity makes it the perfect example of a hidden gem in Elvis's vast catalog, a track that demonstrates his artistry and emotional depth for those willing to look beyond the familiar hits. Do you truly know Elvis now? Or are there still hundreds more forgotten treasures waiting for you to discover?